Hey folks, welcome to another custom lesson. This one has been requested by Bach, who's asked if I take meme build requests, specifically a William Nioh 1 sort of setup. The weapons in this case are sword and spear, and the guardian spirits will be Saiorse and Nekomata. The build focus will be primarily on purity and water, since living weapon isn't a thing in Nioh 1. Soul cores are basically anything that fits with William. This is where I had a lot of creativity, and you'll see what I came up with. For full disclosure, let me show you the weapons I'm using. So I'm using Demon Horde Katana and Spear because they got Purity, they have Life Drain, and Anima bonus on Grapple. That's pretty much it. Let's get on to, whoops, not that. Let's get on to the Soul Cores. Let me remove my controller so you can see exactly what I'm working with. So on Saiorse, I just needed things that I found in Nioh 1. So Kodama. I haven't used Kodama before, so I'm gonna use Kodama. That is literally the entire thinking process there. Next is Onryoki, because Nioh 1 was loaded with Onryoki. That was literally all of the thinking that went there. Giant Toad was a boss in Nioh 1, so of course I'm gonna use him here as well. For stat-wise, Giant Toad, you don't need to bother boosting. I have Anima bonus on Grapple, which is great. For the Kodama, you can feel free to boost this one up. I didn't, as you can see. For Onryoki, I would recommend maxing this out to 30 simply because the Anima bonus and damage taken mid-attack are quite nice to have. But all I cared for otherwise was Yokai ability Ki Pulse. Let's go over to Nekomata. So Nekomata, I went with White Tiger because White Tiger was a boss in Nioh 1. That's it. That's literally it. I would recommend boosting this up to rank 30. The Anima bonus, while maybe not as great as, say, Anima bonus Purified Enemy, it can actually help mitigate White Tiger's cost when you're dealing with multiple enemies. The Purity accumulation is also nice to get, and I'm using Purity-based weapons, so why not? Yokai ability Ki Pulse is there, and that's all I really cared for. Next we have Kasha. I'll explain this one in a moment. Maelstrom Oni-bi, simply because the player wanted water, and I didn't find that this was too much of a transformative effect or something that really dramatically altered William's appearance, so I went with that. Back to Kasha though. Kasha is a soul core I decided to go with, even though it's a Nioh 2 thing, simply because of this. So William did 999 floors of the Abyss, so he gets the Kasha's wheel as a trophy, okay? So he's conquered the entirety of hell, and he got a Hellfire wheel as a result. That's the entirety of my logic. When it comes to soul core rank, I would advise boosting Kasha to max. The life drain yokai ability hit is superb, and as you can see, the other stats on this specific soul core are pretty awesome. Maelstrom Oni-bi, feel free to boost to max rank. The Anima bonus is nice, but I didn't bother. All I really cared for was yokai ability Ki Pulse. And so yeah, that's pretty much all the thinking that goes on with this. Now when it comes to yokai shift, things are going to be a little strange. That's not what I had in mind. Okay. The thing is, I know thematically speaking... Oh, and actually, let me get my controller up. I always seem to forget that. Thematically speaking, William shouldn't ever use yokai shift, but we're in Nioh 2, so I guess he needs an upgrade, right? So let me show you what's possible with yokai shift this time around. Alright, so with Saiorse, this is going to feel really weird, in my opinion. You've got that, you can open with that, but this is straight up just going to be probably one of the weirdest yokai shifts you're ever going to use. You have like no quick options whatsoever. I mean, it might be a little different with the Kodama in the Dark Realm, but look how like niche this is going to be. Giant Toad is very useful, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be a soul core that you're going to want to use at the very end of yokai shifts. So for the most part, you are going to rely upon normal attacks to do your dirty work. And yeah, that's why I find this form to be very strange. Fortunately though, the Pleiades buff that Saiorse gives is like on the order of 200% extra, so you can get into yokai shift pretty easily. Things are a little different with Feral. Feral is going to be more aggressive, but given that we have White Tiger on it, things are going to be quite difficult. So here's how I would advise opening. Not like that. And then you can start attacking. And then as soon as Kasha ends, throw in an Oni-bi, and you'll be in good shape. But yeah, you're going to be relying a lot on your attacks. And I would advise throwing White Tiger if you're at significant range. You can use it as an opener, but you gotta be really careful. But on the plus side, this form does provide access to basically 4 out of the 5 major elements. So you've got fire, water, purity, and lightning, courtesy of the Guardian Spirit Talisman. And you can dish out a lot of punishment. But yeah, use Giant Toad towards the end of Yokai Shift, or when you feel absolutely safe, in the same way you would use Giant Toad. This is still, regardless, going to be one of the weirdest Yokai Shifts you use, which means you really need to understand how to use your weapons, since these Soul Cores are just straight up kind of strange when all paired together. So weapon-based play is going to be at a premium here. With Purity, we can have some interesting options, such as all sorts of on-key pulse-based abilities, whether that be a flash attack or doing a spear flourish. Here, I'll just show you some things you can do to at least make this gameplay feel a little fast. Alright, let's go. Let's do a spear flourish after I get key pulsed. Not too bad, huh? I guess this is always fun. Just doesn't work that well. Kodama honestly is just kind of there as a meme, alright? That's pretty much it. Trying to do serious play with this can be challenging, but fortunately the Soul Cores are remarkably powerful. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. That was not what I wanted to do as well. I'm trying to do a Rainbow Ruse into another play. Let's go. Pretty cool, huh? Here we go, memes! They can just do fun stuff like that. But yeah, most of the time you probably aren't going to be using the Soul Cores. You might use Kasha a lot, but like White Tiger, Giant Toad, heck even Onryoki, it's kind of strange. Kodama can be fun to combo with though, I have to admit. You'll probably rely on Oni-bi and Kasha. Let's show some stuff against the Yoki, just so I can give you some ideas. Still got hit. You gotta really play on those White Tigers. Kasha, of course, is a fan favorite because it's so ludicrously powerful. And of course, when you are having a target confused, it's pretty crazy. And I'll show some more things. Whoops. There's some Giant Toad for you. But yeah, a lot of planning with these cores. Very nice. Let's see what I can do with Kodama to kind of combo with it. It's gonna be tricky. You're basically just using it for the elixirs. Alright, what do I got? Come on. Aww. Oh well. There's just a couple of things. Alright, let me focus mainly on a weapon-based play. Let's see what I can do. Nope, that didn't work. There you go, Kodama into Fatal Thrust. That's pretty disrespectful. Call the herd. Oh boy. Not bad. Come on, do a thing. That's not the thing. Close enough. Alright, let's try like 1 or 2 more things and then I'll call it quits here. It's just... I don't really know how to work this setup together. I had to go memes, man. I couldn't let the memes be dreams. What else? What else can I conceivably think of? I guess there's that. Maybe what? Maybe giant toad? I guess Onryoki. I guess. Yeah, this is just silly. Alright, one more time. Against a Yoki. See what I can do. That was really bad. Go, Kodama, go! Dear Lord. Go, giant toad. There you go. Oh, you didn't. You didn't. You know what? Whatever, dude. Whatever, dude. Okay. This is memes. I don't think anyone really expected this to be super serious anyway. In any case, I'll show you guys what's coming up in a bit in the gameplay showcase. I will see you guys soon enough. Time to put this meme build to the test against the most underutilized opponent in the game, Onryoki, who you'll see later. We're first fighting Skeleton Warriors, and I'll just try to show you how I use various different soul cores with the weapon play. So I know I really didn't have the best showcase in the explanation parts of this video, but you'll kind of see more how things are put into practice. It's kind of easier to explain that way. I, for whatever reason, kind of play the sword and spear almost as separate entities. I kind of have a difficulty linking them together, but that's just a me thing. I'm sure other players can do a better job than I can. Here's an example of a cool little combo, reverse impact into Onryoki, I find particularly effective. And of course, I'm able to apply confusion with Maelstrom Oni-bi, so again, the Skeleton Warrior doesn't really stand a chance when its ki is perpetually depleted. And yeah, there you go, it's dead. Next targets aren't particularly difficult, but you're going to see some group mechanics come into play. So, got a Skeleton Warrior to contend, and an Onryoki, which can be fairly tricky. Ooh, got a nice feral counter with some particularly spiffy positioning. That was an interesting choice of words there. So, alright, let's get Purity off on this guy. Getting a lot of quick hits. You can stay behind him. Onryoki ultimately has telegraphed attacks. I use White Tiger. It's not the best use there. And then here's Wild Spear into Oni-bi, which was really cool and makes Wild Spear seem that much more appealing. And then because of confusion, Onryoki can't do anything. And if I can keep the pressure going with things like Giant Toad, it's like kind of crazy how much damage can occur. All for 7 anima. But now I've got a group encounter because I got the Onryoki and 2 skeletons. So this is a great moment for me to use White Tiger at range. And look how my anima kind of refilled even though my White Tiger's soul core rank wasn't that high. So having the enemy purified thing can be helpful if you are just at some range and you have a high enough rank to get that anima back. And then Kasha, of course, is just going to make quick work of whatever's left. So easy peasy, right? Not too shabby. And of course, here's the big bad boy himself, not the Skeleton Warrior, but the purple Onryoki. I specifically wanted to fight Onryoki because, yeah, he never was a boss that occurred frequently in Nioh 1, right? So I figured, why not? William versus Onryoki is a tale as old as time itself. Well, for Nioh 1, just a few years, but still, it's a tale as old as time. I use the Kodama because, why not? We're about memes, okay? We're not going to let the memes be dreams. And then here's Wild Spear into Kasha, and then Onryoki is confused, so I'm going to go for as much damage as possible. Onryoki is surprisingly tanky, just given the fact that he's purple, and normally he's pretty tanky anyway. So here's some yokai shift play to try to, I guess, beat him down a little. White Tiger, because why not? And then with Nekomata, I've got good old Confusion extended, and now I'm just trying to do as much power as I can. I was surprised. I got hit by Onryoki there. I'm not used to him being slowed, so electrifying him was kind of a double-edged sword, but still pretty cool, and he's still confused, and about a third of his health is taken care of. Onryoki ultimately is not a very threatening enemy if you're comfortable with him from Nioh 1, and it's kind of funny to exploit that fact by using soul cores like Giant Toad so often. So you actually see me use it quite a bit against him, which you might think might be kind of pointless, because Giant Toad I know gets a reputation of being a pretty trash core, and yet it'll help me quite a bit here. Alright, so once I got Purity in play, ooh, Onryoki against himself, nice. Once I got Purity in play, then you'll see how I can take advantage of Giant Toad, because then I'm really able to capitalize on its raw power. So, don't think I need to use it there, it's a bit overkill, but it works out pretty nicely. Making sure that I can get that grapple and ensuring that the curse is basically not a factor when I'm fighting this tanky purple enemy. And then here we go, staying back, Onryoki, what you doing, man? You should have stayed in Nioh 1, man. We've only fought you like a million times. Giant Toad, good job for doing Giant Toad things. It's actually not that bad. I figured, hey, if we're gonna go memes, might as well go full memes by using a lot of Giant Toad. And let's see what's next. Just using some Spear Play, just because. And hit, yay, hit, lots of hits. Kodama, do more things. Alright, I'm gonna do the ball throw. I was expecting the fast throw, so that's what I was anticipating, and it didn't happen. Throw out Giant Toad, even though I should have probably thrown out something else. You can still see the max key damage it inflicted despite not being the best use of it. But yeah, pretty handy. And then, let's see what's left. I'm probably going to use Giant Toad again because it's freaking Giant Toad. Oh no, I use Onryoki. Alright, now am I going to use Giant Toad? Yes, I use Giant Toad. Of course, the long animation prevents me from being able to get the Shiftling Grapple, but that's okay. Saiorse is going to come in clutch. And nice. Got Confusion off courtesy of Guardian Spirit stuff, and just do a bunch of attacks and take out Onryoki. So yeah, William, good job. You took out Onryoki once again. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.